There we go, lovely. Recording has started. So welcome to tonight's class. Hi to everyone who's joining live. So nice to see your faces this Monday evening. And if you're joining live, then well done for making a time to come down to your mat. So for tonight's practice, or whenever you're practicing, we are just going to use a strap or a resistance band. And we're working into the legs quite deeply today, working towards warrior 3 pose is going to be our focus. So yeah, coming down to your mat, you're going to start laying fully on your back. So coming down to a place of comfort. Let me check that the camera has still got me. I haven't, no tech issues today, I don't think. We're all good. Give me a thumbs up if you can still see me. You got me. Cool. Thank you. So we are coming down to fully lay on the floor. So coming to a point of rest. And I'd actually like you to start in constructed rest tonight. So for that pose, we are bringing the knees together. Soles of the feet are wide. And you just let your knees knock in. And I'd like you to have your palms facing up towards the ceiling to allow you to settle the shoulders into the mat, kind of nestling them down a little bit closer to the floor. So if we have the palms down, you might find the shoulder blades and the scapulars start to wing out a little bit and they change their position when we have palms up. So bring your knees together, feet wide, close your eyes or just soften through your eyelids if that feels better for you, and just checking in here with how your body feels. Maybe you were running this weekend, maybe you had a long run yesterday, maybe you're racing, maybe you're doing some other bits. So let's just check in with how you feel. Start to bring your attention to your breath. And maybe that's taking on a nasal breath today, if that's there for you, if it's comfortable. Switching, starting to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Or perhaps breathing in through your nose and taking some big sighs out through the mouth, if that feels good. Can be a nice way to clear the energy for your practice. To breathe in through your nose, big sigh out through the mouth. Maybe do that twice, 3 times, and then continue to a nasal breath. But never forcing anything here with the breath. We hold, we control in a way that helps us to use the energy of the body with movement. But if it ever feels uncomfortable or not beneficial and just not good for you to be holding the breath in that way, then just let it go. So taking 2 more grounding breaths here. Tuning into this present moment, the moment of your practice, where you are on the floor, in your space. And then blink your eyes open, let your knees come apart. You're going to draw them into your chest. So lifting the feet off the floor, your head staying down. Give your knees a squeeze in, both knees in close to the chest. You can take your hands around the top of the shins, maybe a couple of ankle circles, getting into the feet, scrunching the toes, flexing them, pointing. And then let the soles of your feet land on the mat. We're going to move through half bridge pose. So with your knees roughly hip width distance apart, any issues with lifting, then you stay low to the floor or only lift as far as feels good for you. Otherwise, those palms are going to come back down to the floor. So connecting palms to the mat, hands down. Press through your feet, press through your hands. Inhale, lift. Lift your hips up, squeeze your glutes, you press the floor away, stretching through your quads here as you lift up high towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower down, nice and controlled. Feel your spine vertebrae by vertebrae reconnecting to the floor. Let's go again. Press hands down, feet down. Inhale, lift. Squeeze, lift up high. We're stretching through the front of the hips, into the front of the thighs, the quads, the hip flexors. Hold for 1 breath. And exhale, lower down, bone by bone through the spine. Let's do 1 more, final one, 3 out of 3. Press hands down, feet down, inhale, lift, squeeze up, hips high, using the power of the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the glutes to fire your hips higher towards the ceiling. Hold for 1 breath. And then exhale to lower down. Let your left leg go long. You're going to draw your right leg in, so bending at your knee. So a couple of options here. Flex through both feet. Right foot's flexed, knee is in towards the armpit. You can stay here. This is our usual version of this pose. It's called wind relieving pose. And you can take your hands on top of the shin on the right side. Or you might want to take a grip under the thigh. So back of your knee. So still interlacing the fingers. You've got that interlocked grip, but slightly different position there. Or working towards a happy baby. We start to take the sole of the foot, positioning it so it's facing the ceiling. So it's like it's kicking up here, a bit deeper into the hip. Your hand, your arm comes on the inside of your right leg, and you might choose to take a grip the outside of your right foot. If you've taken a half happy baby grip, so hand to foot in this position I'm in here, so fingertips are on the back of your foot, or you could grab the right big toe. Try and think about keeping your left hip, so left pelvis side down. If it's lifted, try and notice that, plant it into the floor. Both legs active, squeezing in, knee into the armpit. So you choose whatever version of grip feels good for you here. Keep your head down, 2 more breaths. Breathe in and out. Stay connected to the breath. This can be quite a strong pose. And then release. Extend your right leg away. Let's take that on the left side. So left, half happy baby, right leg extended. That might feel quite nice to stretch through the front of the hip on the right side as you inhale and bring in your left leg. Knee in towards the armpit, not the face. Options here for our usual grip. Interlock the fingers, they land on the top of your shin, or maybe you come behind the leg, start to pull it in a bit higher, a bit deeper. Or left arm inside of your left leg, and you take a grip on the outside of your left foot, or maybe around your big toe. Noticing if that left hip, left bum cheek is starting to lift off the floor. If it is, then plug it back down. Keep your head down, right shoulder to the floor. Staying here for 2 breaths. Deeply holding, squeezing, staying with the tension. Kick the heel away. Squeeze into your hip, your quads on the left side. And release. Ease it off, let the left leg go. Now I'm going to take a strap or resistance band, whatever you have. And mine is right next to me. So you're going to take this and take it around your right foot. So the base of your right foot here. We're going to take a reclined hamstring stretch. We've done this one before. Kicking the heel away. Flex through your right foot. Right leg extends up towards the ceiling. So sole of the foot kicking up. Flex through your left foot as well. So pressing the heel down of your left foot, press it away and down. And you use your strap, your band, whatever you have, to pull into the hamstring, stretching also into the calves here. And with this dorsiflexion of the right foot, we've got to stretch into the base of the calf. So the more you press that heel up high, you'll feel that into your Achilles, the soleus muscles, so back of the calf here, lower leg on the right side. Hold for 1 more breath. And now take your right leg, so you're staying with the grip, hands in the strap. Your left arm can come out to the side, out of the way, it doesn't matter. You're going to take your right leg across the body. So using your strap to keep you anchored here, gently guiding it down to the right side, and your right hip might lift up a bit to see what feels good there. We're not taking a full twist through the back. So if you're really twisted, really open, and your entire lower back has come off the floor, then take it back a little bit. And you'll feel this stretch in the muscles that run down the outside of your right leg. Keep active through both feet. 1 more breath. Kicking through your right heel. And change. Gently, gently bringing that right leg back up, bending your right knee, take the strap away. Let's do that on the left side. So flexing here through your left foot. Kicking away, extending when you're ready. Your right leg is long. If it ever feels too much, sorry, I should have said this for the first side, you can always bend your right knee. It might ask a little bit more of your hips to have the lowered leg straight. So something to play with. Usually naturally, if it doesn't feel great to straighten it, you would bend it anyway, but just a little hint there. So kick your left heel up towards the ceiling, straightening as much as you can on the left side. And it might feel that the left and right side are different. And if that's the case, then that's okay. Holding it here, feeling this position, this active stretch, deeply working into the muscles down the back of your left leg this time. But keep active through your right foot. Keep your shoulders down and you're using your arms to pull. 2 more breaths. Adjusting, seeing if you can kick your left heel further away to deepen the stretch down the back of your lower leg. And then with your next inhale, you're gently going to guide your left leg across the body, being wary of not turning this into a deep, deep spinal twist. I don't have the space to my side, so I would leave you with that one on that side and count you. So you take it over, left leg over your right, using your strap, keep the left hip. It can be lifted, but just within a degree of movement that doesn't feel like you're coming to a full spinal twist. Let's take 2 more breaths with that leg over, left leg over your right. Really wanting to target the muscles of the IT band and the muscles on the outside of your left leg here. 1 more breath. And change. Gently come back through. Ease it off, left leg. Returning to the floor, strap to one side. You're now lifting yourself up so you can press the floor away, bend your knees. We're going to come up to a seated position and work through Navasana boat pose. So you're sitting up right here. We don't want to be sitting on a block or a prop in boat pose. It can play and mess with the balance a little bit. So knees bent. Draw your knees, your legs together. Squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze the knees. So your inner knees are touching here. Toes to the floor. Take your hands onto the back of your legs. Rock back to find a point of balance, and you can stay here. Work on extending through the spine, so finding length, keeping the knees drawn together. Breathe the belly in, so really working into the abdominals, the lower front core muscles here. Or then we start to lift, and you can keep the toes quite low, or we work towards toes pointing forwards so your shins are parallel to the ceiling. Keep lifted through your back. Use your hands to help you. Breathe in, hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Drop your toes to the floor, chin to chest, round forwards. Take a breath in and out. So 1 more, boat pose. Hands onto the back of the legs, inhale and lift, and we're going to have a little play here. So whilst you're here and when you found a point of balance, gaze to something in front of you that you can keep your eyes fixed on to help. Squeeze into the belly. We're now going to lower down to a half boat pose. So extending the legs, keeping a micro bend as low as you can. Palms facing up. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Brilliant work. Inhale, lift, bring it back up. Toes down, hug around your knees. Drop your chin, your head forwards. Breathe in and out. Now cross your legs. We're going to press through to downward facing dog. So from a tabletop position, hands slightly forward, wider than shoulders, curl back, and so you're tucking your toes under. Press the floor away. Spread the hands wide. Inhale and lift the hips. So heels are heavy here. Pedal out through your right and your left. We've already done a bit of work into the back of the legs and the hips. So hopefully not feeling too stiff in our first down dog of the day. Press your hands down, hips high. Think about tilting your tailbone, pushing your tailbone as high as you can towards the ceiling. Your biceps are by your ears. So your shoulders are turning in slightly, but your hands are wide. Press your chest to your thighs, bend your knees. Breathe in. Breathe out, look towards your hands. Step as many little steps as you need to come to the top of your mat. Feet towards your hands. Bend your knees a lot. Inhale to lift your hands onto your shins. So we're lifting halfway to a halfway forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, standing forward fold. Laying your belly onto your thighs, so bend your knees. You can heel toe your feet together here if you'd like. Your head is low, hands come onto the back of your legs. Knees bent, upper body relaxes onto your legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. So bend your elbows and squeeze. You're folding yourself deeply in half here. Well done. One more breath. And release. Fingertips to the floor. Press the floor away with your feet. Breathe your belly in, belly to spine. And roll yourself all the way up to mountain pose. Nice work. Well done. So in mountain pose, let's just settle. Let's check in with alignment with our position here. Shoulders away from the ears. Your shoulder blades are drawing together. Palms slightly forward. Keep the chin lifted. Lengthening through the spine. So perhaps tilting your pelvis, seeing where your pelvis naturally sits if you've got a deep arch in the back, in the lower back. Trying to lengthen through that if you can. Press down, ground through both feet. Weight is back in the heels. Lift your kneecaps, squeeze your thighs gently, contracting into the glutes as well. Standing here nice and tall. Taking a breath in and out. Take your hands onto your hips. Bend your left knee. You're taking your left knee out to the left side. We're coming to tree pose. So firming up, strengthening through your right side. Again, keep that kneecap lifted. So you're squeezing into the front thigh, into the quads. Press down through your right leg. Nice, solid right leg. Your left knee's drawn out to the side. So we're working on this external rotation of the hip. Try and keep the hips facing forward. So if you swung out to the left, try and pull your right hip back. Hands onto hips. And then when you found a point of balance, find something to focus on to fix your eyes. And then you start to lift your left heel up your right, your sole of your left foot, sorry, up your right leg. So maybe placing it on your inner thigh, inner calf, or keeping it on the floor, whatever works here for you. You're here for 2 breaths. Try and soften through the upper body. Squeeze your glutes, press the floor away with your right foot. And now, bring your left knee through center, so front of your mat, step your left leg back. We're coming through from tree straight into a high lunge. So bending through your right knee stacked over ankle, inhale and sweep your arms up high, Alanasana, high lunge pose. So we're lifting up, looking up, stretching through the hip on the left side, deep lunge on the right. Exhale to take your arms out at the same time, warrior 2 pose. Checking your alignment here, we've got a big space between right foot and left foot. So right toes facing forward, right knee directly over your right ankle. So making adjustments as you need. Your back foot is anchored down, turned in around 45 degrees. Press the little toe side of your left foot down. Keep your left arm lifted, right arm forward, gazing over your right fingertips. Contract your inner thighs together, press your hips forward. One more breath. And on your next inhale, we're sweeping back to high lunge. So pivoting through your left ankle, lift your left heel. Take your hands to your heart space. Palms press. Pivoting back round to the front of your mat with control. One breath here. Breathe in and out, deeply pressing your left heel back. Now we're shifting the weight, using this momentum to come through to warrior 3. So you shift the weight forward into your right leg. It's already there, but we're propping it forward a little more. And then you lift your left toes off the floor. So starting to find balance first. You might need to shimmy back a little bit on your mat here. So you find balance, find a point to focus. Press down through your right foot. Squeeze into your quads, into your glutes on the right side. And then you start to lift your left foot up. We're working towards a position where the left leg is lifted as high as your hip. And it's internal rotation of the hip here. So we're trying to keep both hip points down towards the ground. You can keep a bend in your right knee initially, or you keep it there the whole time if that feels better. Kick back through your left heel. Lift it up as high as you can. Squeeze into your bum on the left side. Lift your leg as high as your hip, and your shoulders start to float down. One more breath here. Really nice work. And change, release. Bring your left leg to meet your right. Sweep through chair pose, bend your knees, exhale, palms press. Mountain pose. Take a breath in and out. Really well done. Let's take tree on the right side. So bring your hands to your hips. Start with feet and legs together. Bend your right knee, take it out to the right side. So tree pose, really focusing on this midline and a strong left leg this time. Press the floor away, lift your kneecap, squeeze your quads, front of your thigh. And then choosing a point to focus, lifting your right foot off the floor, maybe bringing the sole of your right foot to your left calf or your inner left thigh. Really working on feeling this energy through both legs, not just the right leg. So squeezing your glutes, pressing the floor away on the left side, working your left leg towards straight, hips facing forward. One more breath. And now with control, inhale, bring your right knee through to center and then step it back in one nice sweeping motion if you can. So you're stepping the right leg back, big lunge on your right side, high lunge pose. Inhale to lift the arms. Drive your right heel back, left knee bends forward. Breathe in and out. Steady the breath. Use the strength of your legs here. So imagine you're trying to pull your feet towards each other, but you don't move them. Inhale, and as you exhale, windmill the arms out. This time, left arm forward, right arm back, warrior two on the left side. Having a peek down at your feet if you need to. Right foot turned in around 45 degrees. We've got these really strong, straight arms from your left hand all the way back to your right. So even though we don't have eyes on your right hand, making sure it's lifted. Checking in with your front knee, knee stacked over ankle. One more breath here. Contract your thighs, press your hips forward. Inhale and sweep back to high lunge pose. Bring your hands to the center of your chest, pivoting through your back foot. So we're rotating the leg through, lifting your right heel, hands center of chest. On your next inhale, you're shifting the weight forward, using that momentum we did on the opposite side to find warrior three. Keeping planted, firm position with your left leg. Hands to center of chest. You can always use something around you for balance as we practice warrior three pose. Press the floor away on your left side. You squeeze the front of your leg, working your knee to extend, working towards a straight leg on the left as you kick back with your right heel. Lifting your right leg as high as you can, find a point to focus, and you bring the upper body down, kicking back, reaching forward, and change, release. Really strong work. Bring your right foot to your left, bend your knees, hips low, sweep through chair pose. Inhale, palms press, exhale, mountain pose. Very good. So let's come down to the floor, taking a breath, coming to settle in a little seated twist. So cross-leg position, sitting on something here if that feels good. Maybe lifting through the pelvis helps create a bit more space for you. So popping a cushion or support underneath if you need. And walking the legs further away if you want to create a bit more space in the knees as well. So sitting up tall, take your left hand onto your right knee. Right hand props up behind you. Keep the hips forward, so try not to draw the right hip back. We're keeping that nice and ground into the floor. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. So we're twisting through the spine. So releasing spinal twist, so good for the low back. So thinking about the spine here as a spiral staircase. So from your lower back, through the mid-back, thoracic spine, up to the cervical spine, to the top of the back here, the shoulders, and then the right shoulder follows behind you. Your eyes, your chin look to the space at the back of your room. And then release. Let's take it to the opposite side. Right hand to left knee. Let's do the same again. Inhale to lengthen, being wary of this left hip, checking in, seeing if you need to sneak it forward a little bit, nice and stable through the pelvis as you sit tall. Exhale to twist. Guiding back, left shoulder tracking behind you. Looking back to the space at the back of your room. And then release, ease off, unwind, come forwards. And in this easy seat, I'd like you to really feel those sit bones as they're planted into the mat. So you find those sitting bones connection to the floor. Inhale to sit tall and then gently ease forward. Don't let your seat roll up. We want to keep that nice and planted into the floor. And then start to walk your hands forward. So for some of us, extended arms might be better. So we're just spidering up onto fingertips, extending the arms forward, and you press your seat down. This is going to give you quite a nice stretch through the glutes into the lower back. And for others, it might be nice here to drop the elbows onto forearms. You might want to nestle the back of your, so kind of the tricep area, onto your shins. Palms connect to the floor. So you can either have bent elbows, finding a little ledge here with your forearms, or you can extend the arms forward. You're here for 2 more breaths. Really press your sit bones down. Try and keep lengthened through the spine, folding forward as much as you can. Last breath here. Breathe in and out. Really nice. Ease off super slow. Be kind to yourself. Let's press the floor away. Nice and easy. And then taking the legs long. You're going to straighten your legs in front of you. We're just going to take a little forward fold. Keeping knees bent, flex through the feet. Inhale to reach tall. Exhale to fold forwards. Taking a grip of your feet, so bending your knees as much as you need to here. It might be that for some of us, we've got quite a bend in the knees, and that's okay, because we're initially focusing on the back. So you pull hand to feet, feet to hands. Option here to take a big toe grip if that feels good. So first finger, first and second fingers hooking around big toes. And then you ease, gently easing yourself lower down, folding forwards. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to kick the heels away. And then you start to soften your upper body. But this is active. We're using the arms as levers to pull ourselves closer. Take 2 more breaths here. Breathe in and out. Notice this stretch through your low back. Maybe on your final breath here, you walk your heels away further, or you stay where you are. Breathe in and out. Ease off the grip of the feet. Take your hands behind you. Fingertips are pointing towards you here. So bit of extension through the shoulders. We're taking the hands back. Zip your legs together, point your feet down. We're going to take a reverse plank. Any issues in your back, your neck, your shoulders, then you press the floor away. You don't lift, but your heart space, your chest pushes up towards the ceiling. So we lift from the chest. Otherwise, press the floor down, inhale and lift. Toes point away. You lift your knees so you can't see your feet. You lift your hips so you can't see your knees. And your chest lifts up high as you can. Press the floor down, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips up, press your toes away. And change, release. Nice and steady with the arms, super controlled, super strong. Lower your seat back to the floor. And now you're going all the way back down to where we started. So taking the head down. You can take hands to opposite shoulders and go super slow. Or you can go down quickly. No judgment here. It's Monday evening. So lowering yourself back down to the mat, head connects to the floor. And then we're going to revisit happy baby, just nice and quickly. To have a little stretch now, we're warm. So bringing both knees in this time. At the start of your practice today, we did a half happy baby and held it on the cool tissue of the body. So before we were warm, and now we've warmed up a bit. So let's take hands onto the top of the shins. You could stay here, or hands on the back of the thighs, and you start to kick the heels away. So we're flexing through the feet, and the feet kick up higher than the knees. So a little bit of contraction through the front body here. The tailbone might lift a little off the floor, and that's okay. Or you can take the grip around big toes or through the feet. So arms inside, big toe grip, or hands on the outside, and you pull. You're staying here for 2 breaths. Using the arms as levers again, so you're bending the elbows to pull the knees in. And then release, ease off. You can maybe hug the knees in, let the legs go long, whatever feels nice, whatever feels natural. And then coming to relax, let's find corpse pose, the closing moments here of your practice. So any final movements that feel good for you. And then you let the legs, the arms feel heavy and relaxed, just falling out to either side. Or you can always come back to constructed rest, where we had the knees knocking in. So that might feel more supportive for the back. You can always return there. But now softening through the face again, maybe closing the eyes. Just observing your breath at this point. So letting any breath control, any patterns of nasal breathing that you were managing to sustain through your practice, we're now relaxing, coming back to an observer mode where we're just seeing the breath come in and out of the body. Just back to its natural rhythm of inhales and exhales, and wherever that's falling, in the chest, in the belly. Maybe taking a quick scan, starting at your head, just seeing where you can dial down any engagement, any tension around the muscles from your head to your toes. Through shoulders, hips, legs, feet. Just taking 5 more breaths. And we're back in your natural breathing pattern here, just letting the stillness come in, just noticing how you feel at the end of your practice compared to half an hour ago. And now if you need to be moving and getting on with the rest of your evening, the rest of your day, then I'll invite you to start gently moving hands and feet. So some light movement through toes, fingers, maybe some circles. And then when you are ready, bring the knees in, roll onto your left side, both knees together, press yourself up, but keeping it steady, keeping it calm. Now you're back to face me. Or you are very welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you are not disturbed at home. Shoulders down if you're on the move. Inhale, raise your arms, press your palms together. Draw them through center, let them settle at your chest. Giving thanks to your practice, to you, for giving the time today and having this opportunity to come to your mat. I hope you feel better for that half an hour together. I certainly do. It was lovely to see you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will catch you soon. Namaste. Well done, everyone. I will leave you there.